Hey, does anyone remember an old PC game from the early 1990s called Mr. Mix? It was mainly a typing game similar to Mario Teaches Typing, where you would have to type words into a box to make the chef to put ingredients into a bowl. Unlike most typing games, however, this game was notorious for having an insane difficulty curve. The game was a words per minute requirement for each level, being as low as 10 on the first level and being high as 85 on the third. But by the fifth level, the requirement reaches over 500, making it impossible to proceed any further. One of the main things that people noticed about this game immediately was the background music. The background music was, on the first level, it was an unsettling pattern of growls that progressively got louder as the level went on, often causing damage to early computer speakers that were not designed to handle extreme high volumes of sound. The second level had no music at all, and the third had a what sounded like an extremely low quality recording of a hairdryer playing in the background. The remaining two levels had an extremely loud, high pitched ringing noise throughout the level that caused severe eardrum damage to those who managed to get that far. Another rather disturbing aspect of the game was the design of Mr. Mix himself. He was a large, round-faced, overweight man with large, beady eyes and red spots on his cheeks. Most children who played this game reported having vivid nightmares of Mr. Mix, speaking them in a quiet, raspy tone, threatening them to keep quiet about something. However, none of them could exactly remember what that was. One psychologist who saw many of these children reported being disturbed by their sheer amount of terror on their faces of the children as they recounted the details of the nightmare. Many of the children broke down into tears in the process, begging their parents to save them. However, no direct relationship to the game itself could be determined by these few cases, as not all children suffer the same adverse effects. For obvious reason, this game did not sell very well. It remained in relative obscurity until a few years ago, when PC hackers got a hold of the ROM of the game and started digging through it. Using memory hacking software, they managed to crack the game's code and bypass the fifth level. What they found, however, was extremely disturbing and caused many of them to quit the expedition altogether. According to the reports these hackers left behind, the game behaves very strangely if the fifth level is bypassed. The game crashes violently, closes, writing a bunch of files to the user's system 32 directory until the RAM is almost completely filled. These files were reportedly pictures of people with horribly deformed faces, appearing to scream in pain and agony, with their eyes appearing to be bleeding from their tear ducts, and the outer layer of skin torn clean off in multiple places. If the user attempts to delete these files, the computer will violently crash and blue screen, causing permanent and irreparable damage to the user's hard drive. The hackers found that this was caused by a lone byte in the game that triggered when the fifth level was completed. After removing this byte, they were able to proceed to the sixth and final level. Unfortunately, all of the original hackers declined to discuss what they saw in the final level. All of them have become extremely paranoid and reclusive, refusing to talk about anything related to the game, and showing extreme symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Most of them ceased to be able to form coherent sentences within a week. Within a month, all of them went missing. All of the copies of the games were destroyed. To this day, no one knows what was in that game that caused them so much psychological damage. Maybe it's better that way. 2 years after this incident, a man was arrested after trying to kidnap an 8-year-old girl from a grocery store. Through DNA and fingerprint analysis, the man was identified as one of the original hackers who viewed the final level of the game. He was wearing a white chef's hat and had a look of unspeakable malice and insanity on his face. When interrogated, the man would only say one thing: "I Mr. Mix.